So now we don't want you to back out the block. And I told you before, that was easy work. I just feel like he's a tough competitor. A-level far as being able to market him and can he be a household name? Probably in due time, but right now, he's a B-level fighter. Probably a B-.
Floyd Mayweather has just destroyed Jake Paul for fighting 58-year-old Mike Tyson. The much-anticipated showdown between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is rapidly closing in, with November just around the corner. However, it appears that Jake's mother isn't entirely convinced of her son's chances in the ring. Jake himself disclosed that his mom is deeply concerned for his safety after watching a few clips of Tyson's intense training for the professional bout. Regarding whether his family will be present in person, Paul stated, "They will definitely be there, but my mom is very scared actually. She keeps on asking me if I'm ready, asking my team if I'm ready, and she's not liking this one. Mike just looks scary and big. His Instagram videos look crazy, so she's like watching all of that and just not liking it." The decision to delay the fight from its original July 20th date only fueled the tension among fans who were already seething with frustration. The postponement added to an already volatile atmosphere, where emotions were running high from the start. Jake doesn't understand the thinking of the critics. He said, "I don't get it at all, but I also don't understand people in general, like people are dumber than a box of rocks. I don't expect them to understand fighting or gain experience or the honor to step into the ring with a legend. These people probably don't even know what honor is, or respect or passion or doing legendary shit. And the fact that Netflix is involved, the fact that Mike Tyson wants it to be a pro fight. If Uncle Mike is down, then so am I." Boxing enthusiasts are buzzing with speculation about whether the eagerly awaited showdown between iconic heavyweight Mike Tyson and social media sensation Jake Paul will ever see the light of day. Tyson's recent health setbacks and other hurdles have cast a shadow of doubt, making the fight's realization seem increasingly uncertain. Both supporters and detractors were disturbed by Mike Tyson's ulcer flare-up, which forced the original bout date to be rescheduled. Despite scaling back his training routine on doctor's orders, Tyson took a moment to thank his fans for standing by him throughout his recovery journey. "I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time," Tyson explained. Even with his recent health challenge, Tyson didn't hold back in delivering a fierce warning to Jake Paul. With unwavering confidence in his ability to bounce back to his prime, Tyson left no doubt that Paul was about to face serious consequences. "Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good," he declared. Nevertheless, even though some in the boxing community don't think the match will take place, Tyson's remarks have just increased the excitement surrounding it. Former boxing champion and current analyst Sean Porter has raised significant doubts about the likelihood of the fight ever happening. On his podcast, Porter questioned the logic behind a Tyson and Paul matchup, arguing that it doesn't add up. Even from a financial perspective, Porter said that he hates to be the bearer of bad news, but it is likely that we are not going to ever see Tyson get in the ring with Paul. Porter's doubts have injected fresh uncertainty into an event already mired in controversy. Though the fight remains on the calendar, fans are left questioning whether this much-hyped generational showdown will actually take place.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We're not going to ever see Mike Tyson get in the ring with Jake Paul.
Okay, so
I don't know about that.
You don't know?
Money talks.
Look, he said.
I don't know about that, bro.
You look like you dreaded it, though.
Meanwhile, the Gypsy King has voiced his enthusiasm about Tyson's return to the ring. Tyson Fury's Instagram story appears to have timed out. Still, the post had a succinct and clear message. "Can't wait to see the living legend with boxing gloves again," wrote the Gypsy King. The story, interlinked with a post from Most Valuable Promotions, featured a clip of Mike Tyson declaring, "If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face." He was responding to Mike Malak's request. The impulsive co-host was eager for the youngest heavyweight champion in history to confront the skeptics who continued to question his prowess against a significantly younger rival. As reports emerged about Mike Tyson steadily returning to his training routine, fans witnessed him unleashing his full fury on Jake Paul during a recent press conference. Just a few days prior, Tyson appeared on the set of Impulsive with Logan Paul and Mike Malak, where the conversation inevitably turned to their upcoming bout. Despite his 58 years, Tyson delivered a stern warning to skeptics doubting his ability to take on a younger crossover boxer. Interestingly, a month after Tyson's clash with Paul, Tyson Fury will be gearing up for his highly anticipated rematch with Alexander Usyk. A few training exercises and quotes from the podcast and a press conference were included in the video. "Hey, listen, as soon as I catch this guy, it's going to be running around. but as soon as I catch this guy, it's going to be totally over," said a confident Mike Tyson at the presser. However, the problem child responded in the video as well. The Ohio native underscored a compelling point. While his rivals frequently take jabs at him, the outcome remains consistent. They all end up defeated. He confidently predicted that this pattern would persist come November 15th. In a recent podcast, Iron Mike pointed out that the key difference between him and Paul's previous challengers is their lack of apprehension. Unlike them, he admitted to a genuine fear of what the problem child might bring to the ring. Since its announcement, the Tyson-Paul bout has been under heavy scrutiny. Beyond the obvious age gap between the fighters, many are concerned about Tyson's prolonged absence from the ring. After his February clash with Tommy Fury, Paul continued his career by battling another former UFC star, Nate Diaz. Yet, his next two opponents were boxers, both Andre August and Ryan Borland, who, at 35, had been out of the sport for a significant period. Critics have been quick to highlight these factors as potential issues. After the earlier Tyson bout was postponed, Paul stepped into the ring with bare-knuckle boxer Mike Perry. Despite some reservations, Nakisa Badarian, a close ally of Jake Paul and co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, emphasized that the matchup is particularly logical due to their age difference. Given that Tyson hasn't engaged in professional combat since retiring in 2005, there have been serious worries regarding his health. UFC welterweight Stephen Wonderboy Thompson thinks Tyson might blemish his impressive professional record. He told TalkSport MMA, "At this age, I don't think he should be taking any damage or damaging his legacy. I think it could damage his legacy because if he gets beaten by Jake Paul, that's what he could be remembered by. I grew up watching Mike Tyson knowing how dangerous and good he was, but this could damage his legacy." Thompson continued by saying that the fight is just him being taken advantage of for financial gain and advised him to stick to sparring. He continued, "If I was close to Mike Tyson, I'd be telling him there is too much risk. A lot of people just see dollar signs and not keeping their fighter fit and healthy. They think we can make money off of you. He is the one making the sacrifice. He is doing well for himself and he doesn't have to fight Jake Paul. He doesn't have to prove anything." Iron Mike has been sharing frequent training clips, revealing that his legendary power remains intact, though now it manifests in shorter, more explosive bursts. And he's determined to stop Paul's current surge in the ring by winning via knockout. Tyson said, "I'm very prepared to knock out Jake Paul. I'm very prepared. I had a small adversity. I got sick, but I feel good. I'm just ready. I'm just ready. I'm going to do my talk and I'm going to talk my shit, but I'm ready to fight." Thompson added, "Yeah, you're in great shape, but you could get some working, maybe get some work in, say some sparring. You are 58, so nothing heavy, just some sparring to feed that competitiveness and fighting monster that is inside of you." Given his rival's physical prime and Tyson's numerous medical concerns, Paul has a good chance of taking him out. In addition, Joe Rogan recently weighed in on the bout during a chat with Russell Crowe. While Rogan voiced concerns about Tyson's physical state, he also gave Jake Paul a stern warning regarding a specific element of the fight. Few boxers have ever matched the sheer menace exuded by Mike Tyson. At his zenith, Tyson was a juggernaut, instilling terror in his opponents with an air of unassailable dominance. Time, however, has moved on, and now he stands against a challenger who is 3 decades his junior. Even with intense training and preparation, there's a mounting sense that Tyson could find himself outpaced by this younger rival, who once dazzled audiences as a social media sensation. Crowe shared a hopeful outlook for the fighters involved, emphasizing their safety and wishing them a match free of injuries. While recognizing the spectacle surrounding the event, he expressed a desire for the bout to transcend the circus-like atmosphere and wished for a genuine, well-executed performance from both competitors, unmarred by any harm.
As a boxer,
Yeah.
terrifying. You know, even when I met him at one point backstage at a stadium at a fight. And I was like, I'm still terrified of you from watching you, you know. But then that guy he started becoming, where he became more explorative and he was looking into what, you know, the meaning of life and, you know, having a smoke every now and then and stuff like that, you know. I was like, I'm enjoying this, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, I'm liking the evolution.
Rogan, never one to shy away from sharing his candid views, didn't hold back on the subject. He acknowledged the appeal of the idea, but remained skeptical about its likelihood. At 57, he predicted that when the two fighters clash in the ring, it'll be nothing short of a brutal showdown. Tyson seemed intensely driven for the bout, prompting Rogan to issue a stark warning to Paul. He laid out 2 possible scenarios. Either Jake Paul would find out that at 58, Mike Tyson remains a formidable adversary, or it would become evident that, despite their seasoned appearance, 58-year-olds are still just that, 58-year-olds.
Year-old men are 58-year-old men, no matter what they look like.
Right.
And Jake Paul is a 28-year-old athlete in the prime of his life.
Yeah.
You know, it was a real.
I mean, if you just do it to yourself, right?
The JRE host had repeatedly voiced doubts about Tyson accepting the fight, underscoring the significant age difference between the fighters as a key issue. During a chat with Crow, he delved into other elements that might further complicate Tyson's match against Paul. Jake Paul has firmly established himself as a formidable force in boxing. Although his career has been relatively short, his remarkable speed and knockout ability have captivated many, including Joe Rogan. Recently, Paul achieved a notable victory over Mike Perry, who had been unbeaten in his previous 5 BKFC matches. The problem child floored Perry 3 times before securing a win in the 6th round. One of Rogan's key concerns is whether Tyson will be able to handle the pressure throughout the entire bout. During a conversation with Crow, the UFC commentator raised a compelling question. Could Tyson, facing off against a 28-year-old fighter in the prime of his career and scoring notable victories in boxing, actually catch up? In the realm of boxing, age plays a crucial role, as the capacity to absorb heavy punches tends to decline with time. For example, Paul has showcased his skill by knocking out multiple former UFC fighters, a topic explored in episode 2191 of the Joe Rogan Experience. Rogan has consistently praised Paul, highlighting his victories over former UFC champions such as Tyrone Woodley. He also lauded Paul's impressive showing in the bout against Tommy Fury, a credible boxer, calling it a remarkable performance. Rogan underscored that Paul is genuinely a skilled fighter capable of holding his own in the ring.
Good fight with Tommy Fury, who's a legitimate boxer, you know, which was a very good fight. You know, he just beat up Mike Perry, who's a bare knuckle champion. I mean, he's a real fighter. He can fight. He can, and if Mike Tyson and him are fighting and Mike can't catch him, and Mike has bad knees, if his back's bad, I mean, I don't know what's going on with him physically. It's hard to tell from a guy just hitting pads. When he's hitting those pads, he looks great.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if he can do that, if he can actually do that for 8 rounds or 10 rounds, however long this fight is.
Well, that's going to be the key, isn't it?
Can he do that? I don't know if he can do that. I mean, he had to pull out of the first fight because he had an ulcer.
Right.
So it's, you know.
The thing is, I was quite enjoying the second phase of Mike's life. You know what I mean?
The postponement has only intensified skepticism among critics, who contend that Tyson's advancing age and health issues render the bout not merely risky but potentially hazardous. Nevertheless, Tyson remains resolute and undeterred. He made it clear during the press conference that he is motivated by the challenge and isn't deterred by the increasing doubt. "I'm doing this because I can. Who else can do it but me?" Tyson asserted, dismissing any doubts about his readiness. He added, "Let's look at it. Who else is he going to fight to make this happen? You just have to listen to the facts. We got a YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter that ever lived." Jake Paul wasn't about to let Tyson's remarks go unanswered. Flashing a confident grin, he fired back that any fighter who dismisses him typically finds themselves face first on the mat. Paul also boasted about orchestrating Tyson's Netflix deal, positioning himself as the mastermind behind the entire matchup. "So you're welcome, my son," Paul added, promising to discipline Tyson like a father would a child. He abruptly instructed Tyson to cease his complaints, explicitly indicating who had arranged the match. Showing no tolerance for additional whining, he issued a stern directive to end the grumbling, underscoring his pivotal role in setting up the fight. Jake Paul has firmly established himself in the boxing arena with a 10-1 record since his 2020 debut. His latest triumph, a 6th-round knockout of BKFC standout Mike Perry, reinforced his status as a formidable force in the ring. Beneath their outwardly calm exteriors, both men are acutely aware of the seriousness of their predicament. Tyson, known for his strategic brilliance, had emphatically urged Paul to stay in peak physical condition, stressing that his achievements and even his well-being hinged on it. However, Paul stood resolute in his defiance. He ridiculed Tyson's intense workout routines, brushing off his Instagram updates as adorable and dismissing him as nothing more than a mitt warrior. Tyson wasn't done, though. He made one final promise. "As soon as I catch this guy, he's going to be running around. As soon as I catch this guy, it's going to be totally over. He's going to run like a thief." Paul, ever the provocateur, responded, "Let's meet in the middle." Tyson simply replied, "Oh, that's what I want." As the fight date draws near, excitement reaches a crescendo. Will Tyson live up to his daring vows? Or will Paul prove his skeptics wrong yet again? With the stakes at their peak, both fighters are poised for the ultimate clash. Ahead of the inaugural press conference for the match, Paul grabbed the limelight with an interview for his company, Most Valuable Promotions. In this bold proclamation, he delivered a stern warning to his forthcoming rival. When the press conference arrived, Paul didn't merely talk the talk, he demonstrated his resolve in action. What exactly did he say? During an interview with MV Promotions the day before the press conference, Paul candidly revealed to the host that forging a friendship with Mike Tyson wasn't on his agenda, at least not until after their bout on November 15th. He added, "He's out there saying he wants to, have my funeral, have my wake, kill me, murder me." It's important to keep in mind that Iron Mike shared this kind of video on social media to promote their battle ahead of time. Regardless, reflecting on those threatening comments from Tyson, Paul claimed, "I really don't take that lightly. I am making him my enemy until November 15th. When they finally came face to face after the match was pushed back to November, the 58-year-old veteran playfully nudged the YouTube star and burst into a hearty laugh. This good-natured gesture clearly indicated that Iron Mike wasn't taking Paul too seriously. Undeterred, Paul wasted no time in sticking to his word, eager to demonstrate his true skill. Their New York press conference was certainly a spectacle, but given the events earlier this year, is Tyson truly prepared for the fight? Paul, clearly vexed by Tyson's behavior on camera, retaliated with a shove. The aftermath saw both men turning to social media to share their thoughts. Paul mimicked Tyson's shove from the press conference while Tyson expressed his excitement about engaging with his fans online. Following a recent health scare, he has boldly announced at 58 that he's set to challenge Jake Paul in the ring. Originally slated for July 20th, the fight was postponed due to a sudden illness and dizziness during a flight, eventually diagnosed as an ulcer. Undaunted by this hurdle, the former heavyweight champion is now fervently gearing up for his anticipated return. When asked why he's still going through with the fight during the presser on Sunday, Tyson confidently replied, "Because I can. Who else can do it but me? Who else is he going to fight to make this happen?" He spoke these things during a packed news conference after supporters showed their disdain for Paul and love for Tyson. The fiery exchange between the two at the press conference has only amplified the anticipation for their impending showdown. Jake Paul is clearly entering the ring with a fresh surge of determination and intensity. During the event, Tyson seemed to belittle the significance of the bout, suggesting that he doesn't view the former Disney star as a formidable opponent. Tyson, fresh off his recovery and brimming with renewed vigor, confronted his adversary on stage immediately following the press conference. Their faces were mere inches apart as the former heavyweight champion asserted his dominance with a decisive shove that sent Paul staggering. Not to be outdone, the younger YouTube sensation, 30 years Tyson's junior, swiftly retaliated with equal determination. Earlier, Tyson had insisted he would put an end to Paul's foray into boxing. "We've got a YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter who ever lived. He may have been in the ring with people who have the same intentions, but in actuality, no." Paul has pledged a dramatic and ruthless conclusion to their fight, declaring it a historic clash. He took aim at the skeptics who doubted him, daring them to react when he instead put Mike Tyson to sleep. Although Paul recognized Tyson's warnings of a final, deadly reckoning, he emphasized that their once friendly relationship has devolved into a bitter rivalry. With any remaining respect cast aside, Paul announced his goal to deliver a decisive knockout, priming the stage for a high-stakes showdown where only one will emerge victorious.
They'll never give me credit. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. If I was walking on water, they would say it's because I couldn't swim. And this is to make history. If people think I'm going to get knocked out by this strong, powerful guy, all the people in my comments saying, "Look at his power, he's going to get KO'd." People are yelling at me in the event. But what happens when I put this man to sleep? This shit is not a joke. He's saying that it's going to be my funeral. He's saying it's going to be my wake. He's going to kill Jake Paul, all of these things. And that's why I love Mike. I respect him, but we're not friends anymore. Until November 15th, I'm knocking this motherfucker out, and we're going to see who's dead. We will see who's dead.
In a jaw-dropping announcement, Jake Paul has unveiled the staggering earnings he anticipates from his eagerly awaited boxing match against Mike Tyson. The YouTube sensation turned pugilist revealed that he stands to earn a remarkable $40 million from the fight. Paul has been outspoken about his ambitions for the Tyson fight, especially after his recent win against Mike Perry. It's clear that his main focus is on financial rewards, rather than seeking validation from his opponents through his in-ring performance. "I'm here to make $40 million and knock out a legend," Paul boldly stated. He wasn't as concerned about enhancing his name by facing Tyson as he was about the substantial payout. The forthcoming match has ignited a fervent debate among boxing enthusiasts, with numerous voices questioning the choice to approve it as a professional event. Detractors highlight Tyson's age, 58, and his long absence from competitive boxing since 2005 as major points of contention. Despite his return to the limelight for an exhibition bout with Roy Jones Jr. in 2020, his extended hiatus from serious competition has intensified doubts surrounding this upcoming fight. Despite lingering doubts, the eagerly awaited clash is set to draw enormous interest and rake in substantial profits as tickets vanish at an unprecedented rate. Scheduled for a Netflix stream, this event is on track to mesmerize viewers around the globe. Paul, undeterred by skepticism, confidently asserts that he will make history with a definitive knockout against the iconic Tyson. At the press conference, the air crackled with anticipation as Jake Paul and Mike Tyson exchanged verbal jabs, heightening the excitement for their upcoming showdown on November 15th. Tyson, who began with a seemingly lighthearted demeanor, quickly transitioned to a more aggressive stance, unleashing a series of sharp critiques at the 27-year-old Paul. He dismissed Paul's youth and lack of experience, taunting him with the dismissive label of just a kid. Paul, unfazed by Tyson's showmanship, took on his rival's endurance and technique in the ring. The tension soared when Tyson suddenly pushed Paul, leading to an instant retaliation. This confrontation underscored that their upcoming match would be far more than a mere exhibition.
Is he really a young killer?
Yeah, you had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
I feel a lot better now.
During the press conference, Jake Paul boldly likened himself to Muhammad Ali, aiming sharp words at Canelo Alvarez. With the highly anticipated November bout on the horizon, excitement is building, especially after the high-octane clash between Paul and Tyson at Fanatics Fest NYC, hosted at the Javits Center. Paul's knack for self-promotion matches his ring prowess, cementing his status as a formidable contender. Asked about his critics, he said, "At the end of the day, people are always going to have something to say. It's because of who I am. I proved everyone wrong." Reminder, the most hated and most criticized boxer in the sport of boxing before they loved them was Muhammad Ali. Paul is also already looking ahead to what comes next after the Tyson fight. He added, "I'm still on the path to become world champion. There's a lot of talkers out there, a lot of big names who want to fight me. I still want Canelo Alvarez and I want to go on the path to world championship, and that's what I'm here to do. And I will make it happen. And when it happens, people are going to go, 'God damn, that kid did something we didn't.'" Asked why he's fighting, he replied, "Making history. This is what it's all about for me, man. I'm a kid from Ohio. They'll never give me credit. That's the way it is. If I was walking on water, they would say it's because I couldn't swim. And this is to make history. The people think I'm going to get knocked out by this strong, powerful guy. Meanwhile, the rivalry between the Paul brothers and Floyd Mayweather has cemented itself as a prominent storyline in the boxing world. The tension initially ignited in 2021 when Logan Paul faced off against Mayweather in a highly publicized exhibition. Even earlier, tempers flared when Jake Paul and Mayweather nearly clashed during a Miami Heat versus Cleveland Cavaliers game, marking the beginning of their enduring feud.
Who you supposed to be?
I'm just working, man. What happened? You're not tough anymore since your loss? What happened since your loss? Yo, we gonna bust him up, guys?
I told you before, put that
Yo, let's bust him up. Where you running, Jake? Where you going since your fight? Since you lost? What's up, Jake? Where you going, Jake? Oh, he's running! He's running! Look at him!
Logan Paul recently shocked viewers on In Depth with Graham Benzinger by unveiling a startling detail. Floyd Mayweather still holds a deep-seated grudge against Jake Paul. According to Logan, the bitterness between Mayweather and Jake is far from over. Logan Paul expressed, "Jake hasn't been without a security guard since that moment. Floyd has goons who'd kill a man for $200. Here's another video, in case you haven't seen it before, of Jake and Floyd fighting during which Paul took Floyd's hat.
What's up? You want to run a 2-on-1 night?
Absolutely.
You want to run a 2-on-1 night?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir.
Get the paperwork for this bum.
Get Al Heyman.
Absolutely. I don't need Al Heyman.
Let me call Al Heyman.
I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss.
2-on-1 night. Got your hat.
On the other hand, Floyd Mayweather has thrown his support behind Mike Tyson as he prepares to face Jake Paul. Moreover, Mayweather, who has recently been training with Tyson, voiced his disapproval in no uncertain terms, calling Jake Paul's decision to fight Tyson a reckless move.
Well, I commend Tyson because he's one of the guys that paved the way for me to be where I'm at. You know, he's a legendary champion. And the only thing I have to say about Mike Tyson is everyone is always trying to judge Mike Tyson. He lived his life the way he wanted to live.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.